Hey credit warriors, welcome to the show, and we have a really exciting episode for you today. So I want to introduce you to Anthony Davenport. He's a credit expert and author of the book Your Score. It's a top 100 bestseller, and he has created a special secret method of building your credit score really fast.
I actually invented this when I was a banker. I was a banker for almost 10 years. I'm atoning for my sins now by helping consumers.
Anthony's credit system, which is called the 90-day credit slam, enables complete beginners to build a very high credit score in just 3 months.
We tell them that they should expect a 740 or higher, which is an A+ credit rating.
Now in this video, we have the pleasure of having Anthony join us over Zoom and go through the details of his system that can help beginners build credit really fast, but also help people who've damaged their credit to rebuild that credit in a reasonably fast time frame as well. If you like the sound of that, why not subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notifications so you never miss a video. All right, let's get going. Anthony found that there was a need for a way for people to build their credit quickly, especially new immigrants to the United States, so they could avoid ridiculous fees for things like renting an apartment, etc. Once he started looking into this, he found that there was a group of people, a quite unexpected group of people, who were also in need of such a system.
Athletes and entertainers have this issue where they can be famous, they can be, on the New York Knicks, for example, but then have trouble getting apartments. And a true story, there was, a celeb from your homeland that moved to LA to do, a TV show that's very well known, was making millions of dollars a year. But when he flew out here, he then tried to rent an apartment and was turned down for it because he had no credit. And they said, if you really want it, you're gonna have to pay a year in advance. Then he wanted to get a credit card, but he was turned down for it. Then he went to go get a car loan and they said, you have no credit, you have to pay cash. Then he went to go put gas in his car and all he had was his UK debit card. And it's asking for a zip code. And he's like, I don't have a zip code. So he was like, I'm over this country.
So Anthony developed a solution for this, which involves opening 4 credit cards at the beginning of a 90-day period. The first 2 of these cards are authorized user cards, i.e. you are added as a user on someone else's credit card account.
And that's the crux behind the 90-day credit slam, which is adding you to a couple people's accounts that will reflect on the credit history, and then also opening up 2 secured credit cards, which is where you're putting down a deposit. So if you put down $200, then your limit is $200. That is a powerful way to build your credit extremely quickly.
So you'll have 4 credit cards, and after 90 days, you can have up to a 740 credit score. But there are a few important details here, and if you do it wrong, it won't work. So let's recap. You need to open 4 credit cards in the first 30 days of a 90-day period, 2 authorized user cards and 2 secured cards. There are some requirements for the authorized user card though. One is that the card must give you the entire credit history from when it is opened, not just when you were added. Is it true that some cards don't give the full credit history, or do they all give that now?
Amex, for example, they'll let you add an authorized user and it will show up on their credit report, but only from the date they were added. So you don't get the real benefit in history. Meanwhile, like a Capital One card will show you the whole history, and it's a great card to be added to.
You can phone up the credit card company to confirm that it does give you the whole history if you are added as an authorized user. But Anthony recommends Capital One, Discover, Bank of America, or Wells Fargo for this reason. There is another thing though. You must be sure that the person whose account you are being added on is responsible with their spending.
But you want to make sure that whoever added you is not going to be charging up a lot of money in a huge balance, because then it negatively impacts your score. Or if they're going to miss a payment, that will negatively impact you. But other than that, like as long as you make sure that it reports to the credit history, there's nothing for you to do. It'll build your credit, and it will look like you've had credit for many, many years, and then you shouldn't have difficulty obtaining other types of credit.
The amazing thing is, you don't even need to use the cards that you're added on. And in fact, if it gives the person who adds you peace of mind, you can just tell them to cut up the card and not even give it to you, but it still reports to your credit report. Now the next step is to add 2 secured cards, but actually they don't even necessarily need to be secured credit cards.
So you got 2 authorized user cards, and then within 30 days you have to get 2 secured credit cards. Could they be regular credit cards?
Yes, in fact, they could. Once you know that the authorized user cards are reflected on your credit report, you may not need to do a secured card. You can just go straight to get a regular credit card right away.
If you are able to get cards in your own name, you could do that instead. Now for these next 2 cards, especially if they are secured, Anthony recommends Capital One, Discover, Wells Fargo, and OpenSky.
So we've got our cards now in the first 30 days. We've got 4 lines of credit. And then what do we have to do? Because I know like you can't just spend wildly on them. You've got to do something for 3 months, right?
So what I advise people to do is when you're first building your credit, your limits are usually going to be very small. So I don't recommend using these cards on a regular basis because a big factor in your credit score is how much you're using on a card. So I would honestly just put something like a Netflix account, a Spotify account, something that's small and recurring on there, and set it up so it automatically pays off. Then you're using your credit responsibly and you're using it on a regular basis, which they like to see, without having to really spend any time or thought into it.
So this way you'll have 4 on-time payments reported to the credit bureaus each month, and you benefit from the full history of those 2 authorized user cards. And you should hit a credit score of 700 or more within 90 days. It's the 2 authorized user cards that are really the secret sauce that speeds up the process, followed by the 2 cards in your own name.
If you just open up a secured credit card or a credit card right away, it's not going to give you any benefit, no history. But with this, you're now getting the benefits of that history going back potentially years, decades, even. And that's going to make it look like you've been handling credit so responsibly for many, 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 many years. And then just keep your utilization low on your credit cards that you do obtain, and your credit will be solid. You should be able to get a lot of different types of financing without any issues.
Guys, if you want to learn more about the 90-day credit slam or a load of other tips and tricks for building and maintaining your credit, you can check out Anthony's book, Your Score. I'll put the Amazon link for it below. I'll also put a link for cards for fair credit on our partner website, creditcards.com. Some of the cards mentioned in this video, like the Capital One Platinum, are on there if you are looking for a beginner level credit card, similar to a secured card, but just a card that you can get that's a credit builder card with a very low or even no credit score. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're new. A very big thank you to Anthony for coming on our show. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.